However, when the two arrived, they found the laboratory had caught fire. But who can have done this? Captain America thinks they clearly have enough evidence, which is why they burned all traces. At that moment, the girl thought of an email. Sure enough, she found the address provided. But just then, Nick also saw two people not far away. The girl had no time to think. She just wanted to meet the mysterious person as soon as possible. She was willing to accept any demands, but before they could run far, they were blocked by the police in a dead end. The girl thought they were coming to arrest her, but unexpectedly, they took Captain America away. Nick learned from his grandmother, and Captain America climbed over the railing that night. Now he has become a suspect, and the case is becoming increasingly serious. But now the time given by the opponent is getting closer. The girl could only lie and say she was going to get something. The girl could only lie that she was going to get something. Let Nick wait for her in the car for a while, but she didn't expect to just walk into the room, only to find that the mysterious person was the butler. But the woman didn't know what had happened. There was also a bottle of empty morphine on the floor. The housekeeper uses her last bit of strength, saying, "You can't escape as the murderer." Watching the housekeeper convulsing, the girl hesitated, but her kind heart ultimately chose to call the police. In the hospital, the girl could no longer bear the pressure. She confessed everything to Nick, but before being caught, she wished to return to the manor to apologize to everyone. Nick agreed to her request. The girl thanked them for their care, but just as she was about to recount that night's events, Nick stopped her. Everyone was still unaware of what was happening when Nick berated them harshly, saying they never treated her as a human, only any deceased property from the beginning. Nick said he would no longer help them. They firmly believed the old man's death was suicide. This shocked not just the family. Even Nurse Claire looked confused. She believed she undoubtedly poisoned the old man, but Nick said this was not as simple as you think. The whole situation is like a donut. That night, your raw medication was like blocking the hole in the middle, but you neglected the material blocking the hole because there was still a flow. Ultimately, it all goes back to the initial mystery. Why would someone hire themselves to investigate? Nick said he received an invitation from a mysterious person before the will was announced, meaning this person must have known the content of the will long ago, and also knew what the nurse had done. So how could she be denied the inheritance? It could only be done through the murder clause, but at the same time, he couldn't reveal how he knew those 2 points. The girl immediately thought of the housekeeper, but Nick denied it, because the other party only wanted money. But if she exposes the case, she wouldn't get a single cent. Saying that, he brought out Captain America. Before anyone could speak, the girl couldn't sit still. She said they had a role person. That night, Brava's vision was blurred. It was thinking for her eldest grandson, but Nick asked Captain America back. "You hired me to investigate, didn't you?" Now even the police were confused. Captain America wanted to deny it, but interrupted Benedict then. He guessed the story would like this. That night, the old man told him he wouldn't share the inheritance with his family. Not even Captain America could get a dime. Instead, it was all left to Nurse Claire. That led to an argument between the two in his study. It was overheard by the brother who was in the restroom next door. That's why he got so angry and left early. But after getting out of sight, he snuck back through the backyard. Then he climbed back to the third floor using a wooden railing. Not only did he switch 2 bottles of medicine, but he also took the only life-saving antidote. According to the murder clause, as long as Nurse Claire is involved in the old man's death, then that will automatically invalidate the will. At this moment, the girl suddenly realizes if the drugs were indeed swapped as Nick said, then she accidentally mixed them up and mistakenly switched the drugs back. This means she actually injected the right medicine. Nick confirmed the girl's suspicion, but it was definitely not by mistake. Just like this bottle she picked up from the table, the label was also swapped, yet she can still identify the correct one. This shows she is proficient in her skills. She doesn't even need to look at the label to distinguish. The only reason the murderer's scheme failed is that she's a good nurse. Nick said he just received the lab report. The old man's blood sample was normal, but his cause of death was indeed suicide. Then Nick told the girl. That's why Grandma must have identified someone that night. Leonard, you're back again. Why say again? Because he was hit before the nurse. Captain America had been hit before. Captain America, you're back. But Captain America didn't expect. The next day, the newspaper said the old man committed suicide by slitting his throat, so not taking the wrong medicine. If that's the case, his plan would fail. To try to listen, Captain America not as hard for investigation, as long as he could put the blame on the nurse. Then she would inherit the fortune. He then missed the old man's funeral then, because he knew there was no one watching at that moment. But unexpectedly, he was seen by the housekeeper. The whole process of Captain America swapping the drugs, though the woman didn't know what was going on. She was about Captain America did something disgraceful, because she has a sister working in the lab. The housekeeper smoothly obtained the toxicology report, although it clearly recorded no poisoning. I believe tearing off half of it could be threatening enough. The initial letter was also addressed to Captain America. He immediately thought the nurse had used the wrong medicine. He only waited for the will to be announced to turn the tables, but after hearing the girl confess everything, Captain America then realized that report was fake. Not only could it not change the inheritance, but it could also prove the girl's innocence. Still able to prove the girl's innocence, since the reverse plan cannot be executed. That's why he supports the girl not to give up, then set fire to destroy the evidence of her innocence. Captain America wrote an anonymous email to the girl, asking her to meet at a specified location. Lastly, sending the threatening letter. Captain America arrived early at the meeting place, brutally drugging the housekeeper, then injecting her with a large dose of morphine. As long as the police find the burning evidence, the girl definitely became the killer. And at that time, the housekeeper said, "It was you." Actually, it was all dead. It's also the name Sir called Captain America, but he never expected to be called by the police. As a result, he missed a chance to call the police. The original plan was for the girl to see the morphine on the floor. She would definitely worry that her secrets be exposed and wouldn't call the police, but he neglected one point. That's the girl's kindness. The housekeeper was eventually taken to the hospital, but this was just Nick's speculation. There was no substantial evidence. At a crucial one, the girl received a call from the hospital. They said the housekeeper was resuscitated. Captain America panicked when he heard this. As long as the woman wakes up, he is finished. But then he thought, Since the housekeeper is still alive, he will be fine. Captain America began to threaten the nurse. He said the family had been nice to her since she entered the estate. If it were you would protect your own inheritance as well. Even though I wanted to kill the housekeeper to frame you, but now she's still alive. If you insist on updating of the inheritance, I will make you regret it when I get out. At this point, the girl could no longer hold on. Just splashed Captain America in the face. That's right, the girl lied. The hospital called to say the housekeeper is dead. At that moment, Captain America was stunned, because he had just admitted everything. And he was recorded by the police. Captain America was taken away by the police as a result. The freeloader still wanted to pressure the police, but he didn't know that his wife had long received a letter from her father, and they had a special encryption method. The man had signed a prenuptial agreement, believing he won't get a dime. In fact, when Nick first took on his case, he knew it must be related to Nurse Claire, because he noticed blood stains on the girl's shoes. But later he slowly discovered that everything was already arranged by the old man. Ultimately, it was the girl's kindness. This is also what the old man valued the most. He believed that a family without money would still have a richer life than now. Just like Way's written on his cup. My house, my rules, my coffee.